if this year made you stronger and more resilient, the next year, 2024, will make you happier and more blissful. It's due to the energy shifts that are happening during this winter solstice. So usually energy cycles go like that. If there's a season where you're really thriving and experiencing all the gifts for your efforts, usually that season will come up with a season where you slow down a little bit and you start enjoying more these gifts that you've experienced and everything that happened to you. And because you're slowing down, you also become a little bit lazier, and you press the pause button in the area of your growth, and you just enjoy more. And it leads into the season where you start to feel stuck. It's just the natural wake-up call to get to the next level. So for many of you, the year 2022 was most probably a year of massive growth and massive manifestation in many areas. And therefore 2023 was a year of massive breakdown maybe, or a year where you've been kinda challenged in many ways, just to become stronger, to become more resilient, to become more adaptable, and also to recognize what to leave behind. And if that's true for you, then the year 2024 will be a year of massive joy, massive happiness, and a lot of blissful experiences. Why? Because that's what comes after a year of breakdowns. A year where you've been shattered, where you've been challenged, where you've been pushed into new experiences, and maybe new opportunities came to you, but they came to you really, really slow. So you would notice how much you've been attached to the old lifestyle. So if any of that already resonates with you, hit the like button and we'll go into the message. Firstly, I want to give you 5 things to know for winter solstice, what to do, and then I want to also give you 6 messages that came to me for you to share with you today, and I will share them with you at the end of this video. And they're quite general, but they are really, really I think necessary for right at this time. So firstly, the first thing I want to give you is to renew your fundamental feeling. Renew your fundamental feeling. And fundamental feeling is what we are feeling most of the time unconsciously. If the winter solstice is this, it's the dark transition. It's the transition of the darkest parts of us. That's where we require an upgrade. Like if summer solstice is all about renewing our talents and skills and everything we're developing as artists of life, as creatures of self-expression. Winter solstice is all about this shadow side of us that requires an upgrade, an awareness, expansion of consciousness as well, so we can beautifully balance the polarity of light and darkness. And when it comes to the fundamental feeling, it's the feeling you have when you're thinking about the most challenging things within your life. For some people it's health, for some it's money, for some it's relationships. Whatever it is, what's the feeling that comes to you when you're thinking about maybe money or relationships or a soulmate or whatever it is? What's the feeling that you feel? If that's frustration, if that's fear, if that's anger, if that's waiting, if that's being impatient, if that's sadness, that is the feeling that you feel most of the time, and it's usually unconscious. If you want to upgrade your life, you need to renew this feeling. You need to recognize that there's something greater you could feel around this. It's the shift in vibrational experience you have towards those things. So you may notice that something you're really good at, you will feel at ease about it. But something that is not present in your life, you will feel tension with it. And because of that tension, you are resisting to maybe become better, more skillful, more acknowledged, more fearless, more courageous around it. So just pay attention to what it is. As the winter solstice marks a transition from darkness to increasing light, use this time to reflect on yourself, for letting go of this old feeling, and embrace more than anything, I would say embrace knowing. Because there's a difference between scarcity and knowing that everything is working out. Knowing that if you're working on your finances will improve. Knowing that will lead you to make more courageous action. Knowing that what you're working on will improve. Knowing that your health is improving. Knowing that your relationships are deepening. Knowing that you deserve. Knowing that you trust. The energy of knowing, I think, is one of the strongest energies we can embody, because that's what makes us really trustful towards life. We start trusting that what we are working on will lead us to where we want to be. It's like we start shaping our timeline, and we create this laser-like focus for the timeline we're walking on. So we're not so shattered anymore. We're not quite disturbed, doing a little bit of this and doing a little bit of that. We are walking straight forward because we know that what we're doing is the best for us. We are not waiting, we are not wishing, we are not begging, we are walking with trust, and it only comes out of a feeling of knowing. If you're wondering what it means, you need to close your eyes and imagine something that you know that will happen, like maybe when sun is rising in the morning, you know it will come out. What's the feeling that you have for knowing it will come out? What's the feeling that you have for knowing you will wake up in the morning, even though you're not really sure? What's the feeling that you have for knowing? And then that same feeling draw into an area that is maybe more challenging for you, and just train yourself to feel it. Each emotion can be trained, and during this time, as you're training and, let's say, expanding awareness in your shadow side, it's a great time to dive into that part of you and acknowledge yourself with how you want to feel. The second thing is obviously being intentional around this time. Being intentional around this time, and maybe start a new practice that you have. If that's a journaling practice, if that's a practice where you're reprogramming beliefs, something I call 21-21 method, where you're writing 21 sentences for 21 days. It's one sentence that you make up for yourself, something you want to reprogram your mind. Like in the past, when I had struggles with finances, I started writing down, I have more money than I can spend. And I was writing it down for 21 times for 21 days. And it's just, it's magnificent, because we recognize that we install this thought into our subconscious mind. We start thinking about it. We start talking about it. And what it makes us stop when we want to say something that is sabotaging our attitude towards maybe finances or whatever it is. It makes us pause and change the way we express ourselves, because the words we use will plant into our subconscious mind. That's why changing the thinking patterns and developing new thinking patterns that can be more constructive will also help us to shape this shadow side of us that we all have. And intention setting is really important at this time, because there's more focus on your shadow side, and therefore you can evolve in this area, become more aware. So use intentions, use practice. You can start on December 21st and do it for at least 1 month or at least 21 days, and see how everything will go. Do it in the morning as soon as you wake up. It will make the most effect. The third thing is to learn from your nature's element. It's maybe one, maybe there are two. For me, I'm the most fascinated by water and fire. So during this time, I often go close to a river and I just observe the water. I feel water, and often I'm sitting close to a fire and I just observe it, how it is transmuting matter back into the light. And I'm fascinated by that because it reminds me the fire is within me, and this spirit of water as well, it's within me. I can be fluid as water and I can transmute things as fire. So I'm learning from these elements. And then if you use it in the upcoming year, you will notice, well, if I can really embody the spirit of this element, what could I do differently in my life? How much my life would be different when I'm dealing with challenges and I can be like a fire? Can I burn out the old mistakes? Can I burn out the old pain and transmute it into a fuel for my courage? Can I transmute it into a fuel for a skill I'm developing? Can I use old emotions as a fuel for a new skill, for a new habit? Can I tap into this old me? You know, sometimes when I'm in the gym, when I'm doing squats, when I want to, push myself a little bit to progress with weights, to level up the game, I will tap into something challenging that happened in my life, something that awakened some anger within me, and then I will use that anger to push one more time. So I've started challenging myself like that, and I've noticed, okay, that's how I can use old emotions as a fuel for new growth. So learn a little bit from this nature's elements and see which one resonates with you the most, and look at it as a guide, as a teacher, because each element can teach us something important. Like a crystal can teach us how to recharge itself with a new energy, so then you can project it onto something important. And water can teach us how to wash something away, and how through consistency you can shape the hardest things, like rocks, for example. Through consistency you can shape mountains. The fourth thing I want to give you for this winter solstice is to practice gratitude, my friend, to cultivate a sense of gratitude for the lessons and experiences of the past year. When you express thankfulness, you can bring a positive energy shifts into your life, and they will start unfolding much faster, because gratitude is this state for receiving. It's what we feel when we get something. It's what we feel when something good happens to us. And if we practice it, especially right now when many people are reflecting on their past, many people are just complaining for everything that happened. I want to remind you to be grateful also for the good things that happened and for the lessons that came to you, that found you, because they're only propelling you on this path of growth, on this path of evolution and expansion, in terms of abundance, in terms of prosperity, in terms of health, in terms of truth. You know, how truthful you're becoming, how righteous you're becoming, how virtuous you're becoming. So if you're noticing growth in these areas, be grateful for that. If you're not noticing growth, reflect on lessons and then be grateful for lessons. There's always something to be grateful for. And the fifth thing I want to give you as a great time right now is to nurture your inner light. Nurture your inner light. Your inner light is what really makes you special. What other people can be grateful for you being a part of their lives. There's always something, and most people never show you gratitude for being a part of their lives. And most people don't show you love the way you would maybe like to receive it, but know that a part of them is grateful and is really thankful for you being a part of their lives. But it's not really you. It's not that ego you. It's not that part of you that wants to be heard and seen. It's that part of you that gives something unique to others. And to nurture your inner light really means to become aware of that part of you that is giving, that generous part of you that wants to be shared with others. And if you just in tune with it, you will notice there is something unique about it. And if you're able to recognize what it is that is so unique about it, maybe you can develop habits around it that can completely transform your life. Like, for example, a long time ago, I've noticed that my inner light is pure creativity. I'm a really, really creative person. So I've said to myself, well, what if I can start making a living out of sharing this light with others, being creative and finding creative solutions to make this world a better place. I've started doing that, and it changed my life completely. And because of that, I'm constantly reminding you to nurture that inner light, but often we don't know what it means. So it just basically means to recognize what makes you feel joyful and what part of you really experiences joy. Where do you feel joy? Where do you feel peace? Where do you feel this warmth feeling that you would describe as the seed of your soul? Where do you feel that? From where, or what makes you feel creative? What makes you feel cherished and celebrated? What makes you feel loved? What makes you feel really being at peace and connected to life? What makes you feel like that? And in what area of your body do you feel it? Because it will just take you back home within yourself. And if you notice what is that part of you that feels like that, that's how you cherish light. And then just ask yourself, what this part of me is craving the most? How can I be more of myself? How can I be more of this pure light? How can I be more of this? That's how you nurture it. A great time to reflect on that. And now I want to give you 6 messages that came to me for you today. So I was meditating and I said, if there will be any message to share with people today, just please share it with me and I will write them down. So the first one is, this year I made you stronger. The next year I will make you happier. This was the first message that came to me. This year I made you stronger. Next year I will make you happier. So whatever this means to you, to me, it just, when I'm reflecting on my life, this year was really a stoic year. Firstly, I got into philosophy really a lot. I was reading Marcus Aurelius, I was reading Aristotle, I was reading the work of Plato, I was reading Seneca, I was reading a lot of ancient Greek philosophy and ancient Roman philosophy, and it just brought me into this wisdom of Stoic philosophy, how to be more resilient, how to deal with hard moments in life, how to endure when we're meeting challenging things, and how to not just stay strong, but how to know what to ignore and what to embrace. So it helped me so much when I was dealing with something heavy, and I just feel that 2023 was really a year that was teaching us to be stronger, teaching us to be more resilient, teaching us to be more mindful, to be wiser, and to be even kinder and more compassionate to one another, as each of us is dealing with our own battles, and we're just, trying to be better. And I think if we really take time to be with ourselves and to reflect on our own mistakes, we'll repeat less of them, and we will become a little bit wiser every single day. So if we apply what we've learned this year, the next year will be a year of incredible bliss. So I hope any of that may resonate with you. Then the second message was, for blooming, you need peace and joy. For blooming, you need peace and joy. Again, whatever this means to you. For me, I know that I'm the most creative when I'm at peace with myself and when I'm joyful about what I'm doing. So if I'm not at peace with myself, I will firstly reflect on my daily routines. I will reflect on how I'm living. I will reflect on how I'm starting my day. I will reflect on how I'm sleeping. If it happens that I'm not sleeping good, I will reflect on what I'm doing before sleep and what else could affect the quality of my sleep. And then I will reflect on how happy I am with how I'm living my life. And when I find answers to all these questions and I find clarity in this reflection, my inner peace will completely expand. And I will easily find what brings joy into my life. And then I will just, go into this area more often and my life will start blooming. So if any of that resonates, beautiful. Then the third message is that you will rise strong, or you will rise stronger. So maybe you may find yourself right now being beaten up. Maybe you may find yourself thinking about quitting. Maybe you may find yourself that things will never get better. I want to remind you, well, everything will pass and you will rise much stronger. The fourth message for you is that cycle of reaping is coming for those who've done the work. Cycle of reaping is coming for those who've done the work. So for anyone who may find yourself in this, like for whole 2023, maybe you've been working hard on yourself. Maybe you've been loving yourself more than ever and you've been failing at doing new things more than ever. It's all a sign that you are growing. It's all a sign that you're evolving and that you are trying to be better, whatever it means to you. It means, this message, the cycle of reaping, just means that the fruits of your efforts will show up and they will appear in your life. Then the fifth message was to stay patient. To stay patient right now, because the good times are coming, but you also need to be patient because they will not just appear. But once they will, you will know. So just be patient a little bit more. And it's not for some people it's diet. When they look at it, as soon as I will lose weight, I will go back into my old diet. Patient is a life. Being patient it's a lifestyle. We train ourselves to be patient and then we just keep evolving and in being more patient. As I know for myself, as I'm growing and evolving, I'm just starting bigger things. Whatever I'm doing, if I go into a business, if I'm doing artwork, I see myself, I'm just doing bigger and bigger things. My art is improving and I'm doing bigger paintings and more complex paintings every single time I start a new one. When I'm doing business or when I'm going and opening a new company or whatever it is, I'm just going into bigger things. I'm noticing this for me and every time we start something new, we just need to be more patient with ourselves. We just need to be more humble with what we're doing. And we just need to try to be more of what we are striving towards. And then we get it. And the last message that came to me was, when you receive an answer, act upon it. Stop setting more questions before you test what you received. And this one is really, really strong. When you receive an answer, act upon it. So many times people are asking what to do here, and then they receive an answer, and rather than taking action with it and really exploring it, they start asking why and what else and what about this and what about that. You know, when you get clarity around something that was a mystery for you, then explore it, act upon it, work on it, master it, and then set a new question. It's similar with psychedelic experiences or mystical experiences. Anytime we experience something like that, we get a certain set of wisdom there. And wisdom serves for us to improve our lives. If we don't improve our lives with it, it's only a distraction. So it's not really a wisdom, it's just a distraction we're looking for. So each mystical experience can be a distraction if we don't use it to improve our lives. So when we experience something like that, sometimes I have it in meditation, sometimes I have a dream that is really, really mystical. And sure, I want to re-experience it again. But then it doesn't happen, and then I start reflecting what it actually taught me. How can I implement what I've experienced there in my life? How can I become even more connected as what I've experienced in that dream or in that meditation? And how can I, walk in this in my daily life? So every mystical experience or any answer that comes to us in meditation or through a video or through a book comes to you for you to use it and change your life with it, and then go and ask a new question. In ancient times when there was no technology like this and no internet and anything like that, when people come to certain shamans and mystics for advice, they received an advice and they went back home and they've prayed on it and meditated on it and changed their lives with it. They haven't just looked for more. But now, when we have an access to more of everything, it's important to stay grounded, to stay really, really stable and devoted to your path of evolution. And I think we can only do it if we apply, one little baby step at a time. So learn and implement, and learn and implement, and learn and implement. So, my friends, I hope you found anything valuable for this winter solstice message. And to anyone who would love to support my art, go and check out our Etsy store, AttractPassion. The link is in the description of this video. Thank you so much for your support. And thanks to all of you for joining our Patreon community. The link is also in the description of this video. Thank you so much. Until next time, one love.